Hello everyone! Hi. My name's Noah. This is my floss tube. I think this is probably the first floss tube I've ever had where I just straight up open up with a hello instead of some weird crazy tangent. So hi, welcome to, oh my goodness, of course. Come here, Erickson, come here. He wants to play with the tripod right now, but everything that touches him he wants to play with, so what is new? I mean, every time I try to film, this is what I end up with. But look how big he's getting, y'all. I mean, he's still very small, but look, I mean, he is munching. We've been working on it. It's actually gotten better, believe it or not. It doesn't look like it has. But when we went to the vet the last time, I put him in the living room. His tower's like right there. So when we went to the vet the last time, I was talking to her about it, and she gave me a few strategies to kind of start focusing him away from the teething stuff, because he was starting to get a little violent. But I love him. I love him all the same. So Erickson is now 12 weeks old as of today. 13 weeks? 12 weeks. 12 weeks. He just got his rabies. He's running through here. So he doesn't have to go back to the vet until it's time to get neutered and spayed or whatever they call it. He's like obsessed with this tripod. I don't know why he wants to chew on it. Chew on your toys, baby. I said that I was going to start my floss tube the right way, and then here we are. But at least it's not my fault. It's the kitty cat's fault. But really, is it his fault either? Because he's just too cute. So, okay, I have a lot to talk about in very little time because I have a group work project. I just got done with a licensing exam for teaching. So that took 4 of my hours this morning. I actually recorded this at like 7 o'clock this morning. But then when I was uploading it while I was doing my licensing exam, the internet crashed and I didn't get the video uploaded. So, it is what it is. We're here to film again. At least this time I'll be a little bit faster because I kind of know what's coming down the pipeline, right? So, let's step right into it. I actually have a finished object that I'm not going to share because it is a gift. Took me, when I was doing my progress trackers, it was a full week of stitching. However, when I was sitting down at night to do it, it would be, what's it called? Only like about 30 minutes to an hour. So on that project, so it wasn't too much progress at every night. So that's the reason it took a little bit longer. Oh my goodness, he wants right there. Get it, baby. Go get it. He's kind of like a dog in the sense that like he will fetch. I keep shaking his camera. But yeah, so I didn't get a lot of stitching done on that so it took a while to do it. But it wasn't the focus piece because I was busy with all the other stuff I have to show you. But as soon as I've sewn it together, I'll take a photo and then we'll share it here on FlossTube. I'm just gonna have to hold him because he's just being too much right now. Or I'll just actually just do this. Okay, everybody say bye. Say bye-bye. He's like, I'll just munch on your hand, I don't care. He really enjoys bathing in the sun, which I mean, tell me a cat that doesn't like bathing in the sun. So I thought I'd set him up like a nice little bed right here in the sun. That would be the spot to be in today. Nope. I mean, he was great this morning. But also that was 7 o'clock and this is noon, so. But that was one finished object now that I've had like 4 kitty calls in like 2 minutes. I don't think I ever like properly introduced myself. I just started talking about cross stitch. This channel is, God, I can't do it with myself. My poor brain is, after that exam, it was long, so long. But it's worth it. It's all worth it, right? So this is FlossTube. FlossTube is a version of YouTube, or a subgroup of YouTube that's more like it, where we talk about cross stitch, knitting sometimes, crochet. I mean, I think FlossTube is just kind of general now. But I specifically talk about cross stitch, knitting, crochet, quilting sometimes, sewing, and I have a little bit of everything to show today, so we're gonna get into it. My name's Noah. I'm 21. I live in Tennessee in the United States, and I'm not afraid to say Black Lives Matter. And if you are, please leave. And don't announce your way on the way out, because I'll just delete it anyways. Pumpkins and Bittersweet was my fully finished object. Last time y'all saw it, it was only, I think, half of the pumpkin was done. And now we're done. So, excuse all the smudges on the picture frame. I keep using pictures of me and Eric as the cover. And I'm like, yeah, I need to stop doing that. But he's just so cute, y'all. Making sure it was in frame. So, I don't have my progress tracker for it because I actually have it in my finishing binder, which I need to grab, and I'll show y'all. I missed out on that this morning too. I don't know why I didn't remember. So, on my progress tracker, it says that I started, I think there was only like I had this going for a month, but my days that I actually spent on it were only like, I think 12 in total. And now think about that too, like the hours ranged on those days, anywhere from an hour of stitching to 6 hours because it was Friday off the grid or something like that. Last weekend I did participate in 24 hours of cross stitch. I'm sorry, I don't know why my throat's all wonky. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I did 24 hours of cross stitch last weekend, and I'm gonna let y'all look at this. This is by the Scarlet House, by the way. 25 count even weave. It's on Stormy from Fire Poppies. Bought it on their website. I don't like the variegated over one, like 1/1, because I can't really see it that much, but I do love the look of this, so I'm not disappointed. But I did 24 hours of cross stitch last weekend, and I think the weekend that everyone else did it. I did mine over the span of 3 days, so I was able to, oh my goodness, why do I always forget to turn off the notifications? Where was I at? See, this is why I can't live with myself in my own head. 24 hours of cross stitch, I broke it up over 3 days. I was actually quarantining because I had a COVID scare, so it was kind of easier for me to do the 24 hours rather than something like this weekend where I put 20 hours into work rather than cross stitch. So not much stitching this past weekend, but I knew it was coming, so that's the reason I participated in the 24 hours. But I finished that one, got it framed, and then I had a couple new starts. So we will go ahead and show the new starts now because I only have 3 whips today besides my new starts. And these are both really important new starts, which is why I started them, because if you remember from my last video, I was like, I'm not going to do any new starts. Well, these were kind of like needed to start, at least try to get some stitching in on them because they hold like important people. So for instance, I'll talk about that in a second. So Mittens by Rachel Nichols. Here's my progress tracker. These are by S Word Designs on Etsy. And she's, I mean, phenomenal. Sylvia's a great woman. She's super kind. We talk. She's just super duper sweet. And she sent me more, which I'll show y'all in a minute. She has more options now. And she's done something a little different. She's added the list, the thread, and the flosses, conversions, all that good stuff, so you can know later on what flosses you were used. Maybe if you gifted out your pattern or something, you'd be able to still see what floss you used. So this is 18 count Aida, and it is 4/2. So I'm actually technically stitching on 9 count Aida. Caroline had a floss tube video where she had shown her pillow. A friend had gifted her that, I believe, if I don't recall incorrectly. And so I was like, I want that. And then it ended up on her shop. So if you want this pattern, you can go to evertote.com. And that's Caroline off the Great Needle Arts. Everyone congratulate her too. She just hit 10,000 subscribers. I'm like, odd people. But this is what hers looks like. So hers is actually finished as a pillow, and that's where I kind of got my inspiration from. So mine as well is going to end up being a pillow, but this is what it looks like right now. Oh, and this is the bag that I'm keeping it in, my Stitch and Button, like, beautiful bag. So, again, 18 count Aida, but I'm doing it over 2, so if you can see here, the full cross is over 2 of the little holes. I am switching in a few things because I'm doing this for a pillow, so I wanted different textures on my cross stitch. So I do have full crosses all the way throughout the piece. The border, these, the snow right here, snowflakes, trees, all this good stuff is full cross, except this gray. You can kind of see it there. It's like a, just a satin stitch, like a over dramatized back stitch, but it's really smooth and I like how it feels. These are tent stitch in this direction, and then I'm going to do, in this direction, and then I'm going to do the green up here in this direction, so they're opposite, because I like the way that like down here feels, because these are full crosses, but these are half, so they're thinner, like there's less thread on the fabric, so it actually feels like the snowflakes are raised above, so it's really cool. So as a pillow, for the armchair, for like the Christmas season and stuff, really just the winter season because, you know, but I've gotten that much done on it. So according to my progress tracker, I've spent 8 days on this. This is what the finished product will look like, and this is where I'm at. 8 days. Now I'm kind of obsessed because it's really easy to see because it's 9 count and it's kind of soothing, like just doing big crosses, and I'm having fun. Like I didn't even think I was gonna do all of this texturizing until I started doing it, and I was like, I love this. So there we go. And again, you can find this on Caroline's shop. She was given permission to sell more, so she has, oh, and they're PDFs. Did I say that? They're PDFs, you don't have to wait. We love that. So yes, Mittens by Rachel Nichols. It's on Caroline's website, which is right there. Hopefully I could get this finished within the next week. Get it into a pillow, and that'll be a finish. A full finish. Next is Antonio. This was a new start with Kansas City Girl and Julie, as well as Scott Stitches in Spain. Scott. It is a stitch along. I think Scott started it, Julie had it in stash, and I had to buy everything, which I do not regret because this is a beautiful piece. I cannot wait to continue stitching on it because I am super pumped. I'm gonna pull up my Instagram. Oh wait, no, I have it right here, never mind. So Satsuma Street has put this one on Etsy. I mean, I know there's Etsy sales, of course, like I think everyone knows that. I'm saying this one specifically is a PDF as well. So this is what it's finished as. Not pretty. There's so much variegation. Like the photo does not capture what I've already personally done. But what I enjoy about variegation as well, you completely get a different piece. Depending upon how you place your threads and what ends you start from. So to watch Julie's and Scott's come along, which Scott is, I think he's almost done. Like I think he literally has 2 blocks left. Girl, that ain't me. You know that ain't me. I just started this. So this is where I'm at. I'm on a 32 count even weave. It's green. This is where I'm at. 32 count, I'm doing 2 over 2 with the called for flosses, which is a lot of DMC variegated as well as just normal DMC. But this turtle needle minder has come from Caffeinated Cat Crafts, and this thing is strong. Like I lost my needle the other day. Don't make fun of me. I lost my needle the other day, and I was like, oh snap. And stuck that on the cup, boom. I was like, where'd it come from? Like it was quick, it was really quick. These have taken me 3 nights to stitch, which I mean, I know one of those days I put in like 4 hours of stitching. I'm not even gonna lie. Like this is really confetti heavy, but look how beautiful it is. Like I wouldn't change a single single stitch. And the variegation is all mixed in, right? Because look, here, oh, don't look at my nails, girl. Oh, they rough. Here, it's all the same color. All that pink is actually one strand of floss, but it gives the illusion, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't change a single thing about these. Once I can get through that block, everything else goes so much faster. You can see here, those leaves are only 3 colors. Like that leaf is only 3 flosses. So yes, it's a lot of the same stitches, but I find that relaxing. As well as the border. I'm just gonna do the border in chunks as I go, because I don't like to do all border at once because it's boring. I did that with Pandemic. I regret it. Which, mentioning of, I didn't stitch on Pandemic. Hopefully I can have them. My goal is 2022 for Pandemic and my Haid. The end of 2022. Which sounds plausible until you consider the fact that just between those pieces alone, there's 140,000 stitches. Over the course of 2 years. Because 2020 is damn near done. 70,000 stitches a year. Now that right there is a heck of a goal. Maybe that'll be today's floss tube. Heck of a goal. Oh, I dropped my binder. Oh, I didn't even mention that. Did I mention that I have it in my binder? I thought I said last time I would do that, but I've got all my variegated DUNs here, or variegated flosses over here. I've got my DMCs over here in order, like number order. This, I figured out this is called the Floss Buddy. Y'all knew what I was talking about last video, but I apparently didn't. I've got my variegated flosses just hanging out on there. I tie it to where, I don't tie it, but I put it to where the start is closest to the hoop, so I know when I gotta go pick the next strands that that's the end that I'm pulling from to keep my variegation going. And then I know that I'm gonna use all of this color, so I just kept it in a zipper pull. And then my actual cross stitch piece is tucked away right in the front. I mean, you could put it inside, but, oh, my flosses are still hanging out. You could put it inside, but I just don't. I don't have a physical pattern for this one, so to me, it's just like, okay. So I started Antonio on November 10th, which, today's the 16th, so it's almost been a week since I started. I mean, that is good progress. Like, I don't think, it might not be showing because it looks so small, but that's a few hundred stitches. Quite some. But it's a lot of counting because I'm just now starting, so I don't have any, like, branching off points. Now, whips. Gotta whip it into shape. Whoopsh, whoopsh. I do not get credit for that. That was, and now I don't even know how to give credit. It's actually Ray and Kevin off of Needle at the Ready. Ray is always like, whips, whoopsh, whoopsh. Works in progress is what whips stand for. It's not an actual whip, it's just kind of a joke. So I have been working on my mystery sampler by 2020 for Linen and Threads. I'm doing it on 18 count Oatmeal Ada and DMC 311. I started it on January 1st, and I got 3 days of stitching done on it. Nope, 4, sorry. I got the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and then I started mittens. Because you can tell on my other progress tracker, that's when I started mittens and got sucked in. But I did start on September, so the idea is that in the next week, if I finish mittens, I will pick this up and replace mittens time with this and finish September. To have September done before December, which is very plausible since today's the 16th. And September has already been started. So I've got September here. This is over here where the needle minders are at. It's actually like right underneath those 2 little blocks right here. So I've come to the edge. The edge is like right here. So November has also been given out because it's mid-November. So I don't want to be behind for the rest of the year, so I need to start catching up because I want to finish. So I need to do all of this before the end of the year. Because I don't want to carry this SAL into 2021 because it was my first SAL, so I need my first SAL to be finished within the year that it was assigned. That's like my own personal goal, so I will set aside everything else for this piece, if it comes down to it. Now, because it's not a lot of stitching, like a month will take 2 or 3 nights of solid stitching. However, I find those nights very far and few between right now. I'm just so between work and school and just everything. I've got to go constantly. And cross stitch like that, I can't pull out at, Walmart waiting on groceries or something, because it's just too much. Okay, so before that was that one, I want to show my Afghan, and then I'll show my socks. So my autumnal Afghan is right here. I got it in my infamous White Claw bucket. It actually doesn't fit in the bucket anymore. Well, I don't fit behind this chair either, do I? So I have started the dark brown. This is like light. Okay, let me explain the colors when I talk about them. Purple is this like dark purple, maroon, brown. This is brown, and this is dark brown, okay? Because it's gonna get confusing if you don't understand what color I'm talking about. And I don't wanna seem obnoxious. So, this is the full size. Look at me, hi. Like it's so big that it doesn't fit in frame anymore. I haven't actually measured it, but it covers my body from like here down. So I was stitching on it. I was stitching on it the other day in class, and because I was in Zoom, and I was sitting in this chair, and I was like, this drapes perfectly. I was like, I don't have a lap blanket. Like I have like queen size drapes over my bed, crochet blankets. None of my blankets are small. So I was like, I can go ahead and finish this dark brown, move on to the purple, and that'll be done. So I'm definitely gonna have this done within the next day or so, because these rows don't take a long time. But now that I'm close to the finish, I'm like trying to zoom through it. Now, with this though, it's a really good blanket for a lap blanket because it's the granny square. So there's breathability, but it's also really soft because I'm using the Karen Anniversary Cakes in the colorway Tiramisu. I started this in October, so if I can get that finished this month, that would be, if I can get it finished before the 27th, then that means I finished it in less than a month. So I'd be down. And the 27th is like 2 weeks from now, so I think I'll be fine to finish this. I'm really excited though, because that might be one of the things about cross stitch. You don't get to physically use it once you're done. With blankets, you're snuggled up and ready to go to sleep. And it's the perfect colors even for fall and going into winter because it's still dark and moody, but it has like the yellow pop. All right, so these simple cuff down socks are, let's try that one more time. I'm knitting a pair of socks. The designer is Louise Patterson or Wildflower Wool. I have the simple cuff down socks is the pattern name, and I am using Born of Air hand-dyed yarn by Third Vault Yarns, who is an amazing woman. She's like so phenomenal. She is a black indie yarn dyer in London, UK, and she goes on Instagram Lives and shows how to dye the yarn, and her voice is so peaceful. So I will definitely continue supporting her. I am at this point with my sock. I literally only got 2 days according to my progress tracker after I filmed last. So I'm sure there's not a ton of progress. Again, this is my first ever knit sock, so it's not perfect, but I am enjoying it. There's a few things, but everyone keeps telling me it'll block out, so I believe them. One of my favorite parts is actually the cuff and the way that the color pulls together. Thank you, Candy, for telling me about that, because I didn't know what that word was, and then she told me, and I was like, that makes so much sense. She also told me how I can fix a drop stitch. I just kept knitting. That was like a big no-no. I had to use some glue. Girl, I don't even want to get into it. I weighed my ball of yarn though the other day, and guess what? I've only used 8 grams, and I've gotten that much. I'm like, it's crazy. Like the amount of grams and weight of yarn that you go through with crochet compared to knitting. I feel like I can pull a few armfuls of yarn out and be knitting all night long. I like that. It makes it easier. But again, I'm using my S4 Designs progress trackers. She's just amazing with these. These are, again, on Etsy. Super great. So those are all of my whips, finishes, and new starts. Under 25 minutes. So what we're going to do next is go into Stitchy Kindness. We'll go into haul, as well as some unwarranted advice that you didn't know you needed. Because I thought that was a funny that I had earlier, and I still want to include it. So, Stitchy Kindness. I've been talking about her all video. Sylvia. She has her new progress trackers out. So I'm just going to kind of fast go through these because I feel like my showing of them are not as good as her Etsy listings. So if you wanted refined detail, her Etsy would be the place to go, not with me. But I can give you a general overview. So she has these 5-year trackers from 2021 to 2025. So these would be Heaven and Earth's Pandemic, for instance, something that would take just a couple of years. And so she set them up like this. I enjoy them like this. I think it'll be easy to fill in. It's kind of bullet journal style. You know, the month is on this side, the day is above, and you highlight or circle. Now, it still does have the project name at the top, the designer, fabric, and some notes that you need to include. That goes for all of these. It has a start, finish, and how many days that you have. I know she was talking about hours and tracking hours, but I don't know if she has those or not yet. I don't track hours like I used to. I track days because I get up too many times while I'm stitching. So now I have the 3-year 2020 to 2022. So if you were to start something this year, these are the ones that you would need. If you suggest that or if you suspect that you'll spend longer than 2 years on it. You also have the 2-year 2021 to 2022, as well as the 3-year 2021 to 2023. Sorry, I just got a text on my iPad from the group chat. Someone doesn't have their stuff done, so it makes me feel a little bit better about filming a floss tube video. Because I told them that I was going to need some time off between my exam, which I do. Okay, nobody deserves to sit through a 3.5-hour long exam on a laptop when you're being recorded. Because they do the virtual stuff now, and it's really a great resource, don't get me wrong, but it's stressful, and it's taxing on the mind. More into Stitchy Kindness. I got a beautiful project bag from Candy. We were on Virtual Stitchers together one night, talking about NASA images and the stars and all that good stuff. And so, I've got this right here. Oh my gosh, she made this for me, y'all. It is beautiful. It glitters. I don't know if it's showing in the... Every time I look at this, I just, hesitate. That really proved to me everything I needed to know about that man. In case you didn't hear, the car revving their engine by. So she has snaps on these. I accidentally called them buttons because I've never used them before. She was like, I'm not sure what you're talking about. And I was like, yeah, because these are definitely not buttons. I am so sorry. So now they are snaps. And they will always be snaps because, they tell you if you've embarrassed yourself, you'll never forget. So she did a great job constructing this bag. I currently have my Mirabilia in her because the fabric got to be a little bit too big. Because when I stitch, I don't like to tight roll my cross stitches. Oh, they set the zoom for 3. I'm okay with 3 p.m. We might actually be able to do 2:45. I'm like watching the group chat right now. It doesn't help when there's like 8 people in a group chat for group work. But you didn't hear it here, girl. You didn't hear it here. Also, these, I got my haul. We're kind of switching to haul right now because this is what my hands are on. I got my Ancora Crafts. She is on Etsy. Girl, I ordered all my DMCs for Antonio. Had it in 3 days. Had it in 3 days. So, she has literally all of the variegated, and they were like really cheap. I felt like they were really cheap. And this is how they came. I mean, they came just like, you know, the normal DMC flosses. But while I was there, I've never gotten Threadworks. So I ended up getting Threadworks. I got, is that the name? 1085? This just proves to you this is my first ever hand over dyed floss. Hand over dyed floss. Okay. I was like, I feel like I've heard that. I have. I've even said it. I talk about it all the time. But yeah, look at it. Isn't that stunning? I went to a Christmas piece, obviously, but like there's some browns and it like gets a little dark in there, and I'm like, ooh, a Halloween Christmassy piece? They exist. They exist. Gotta do a little digging, but I've seen some spooky Halloween cross stitches. Okay, to switch back over to Stitchy Kindness, look at this beautiful card that Philip gave me. He's here on FlossTube, he's here on Instagram and Facebook, he's in all the groups. Sent me a Christmas card and a gift, so thank you for that. I just love the glitter on this. This is one that you put on the wall and you don't take down, like all season. Because it does say season's greetings. It's very inclusive of winter. So that could be up till March. And then I'm a part of that secret stitchy thing going on right now. So Bart and Katie sent me something. So in the package, they sent me this beautiful card. I ended up putting away their Halloween card they sent me. But y'all, it was so cute. Like, it just says hi. Bart and Katie. They're on, well, Katie joins Bart's FlossTube. It's Park Hopper Bart. But I just thought those were cute and just had to share them. I also, switching back to haul because we're all over the place. Lisa. Now, Lisa is on Etsy. I mean, let's just talk about the fact that these Etsy sellers have amazing packaging skills. I mean, every time I get something from Caffeinated Cat Crafts that's physical, it's an amazing, amazing packaging. You get, I mean, I feel like that goes for all of our Etsy sellers, right? They always have like the coolest like business cards. So, Stitchy Notions. Found her through Coco Hamo Stitchery, which is Rocio. And so I found her, and Rocio was talking about an Ort book when she moved back to Texas. When she came back to Texas, she had all of her haul from when she was unable to get her packages. So she had an Ort book, and I was like, I need an Ort book. Y'all, hit up Lisa. This book is amazing. And I gotta choose the fabric as well. It's sturdy. Like, I don't know if what she built on the inside with it. An Ort book is an old ratty thread, or you can even use current like threads. So I love the idea of this because, also look at that. Oh. I just, wait. It's so beautiful. And look, she's even got her company up in there. The sewing is impeccable. The quilting is, I mean, I don't even want to use it. I just want to stare at it. Oh my gosh, there's even a seam. I mean, everywhere you look, a hem, which is a Drag Race reference, but beautiful stuff, beautiful sewing. $15. Girl, I would have spent $15 getting gas to get fabric to break a needle in a sewing machine to go back to Joann to fail again. This is amazing. But she sent me this thank you card, and then she wrote me a cute letter on the back. But in the Ort book, she had a sewing pattern for a quilt pattern. It's Here Fishy Fishy quilt pattern by Fat Quarter Shop. And it's just, the patterns in here, it tells you everything fabric-wise you need back there. And just look how cute that is. Look at the little fishes. So I think I'm definitely gonna quilt this. And it'll be a wall hanging, because I can change the colors of the fish to match a season, and it can be a seasonal wall hanging. Or maybe I do, I mean, how do you do a seasonal wall? I don't mean like seasonal, because you can't make fish seasonal. I meant color scheme. Like color-wise, I could make it attached to like greens and blues for the spring, and you know, stuff like that. So, I have one more thing, which is the lollies. Again, I'm just a Michelle Bendy stan. I really just do everything that she does, and I'm okay with that. You know, she's just such a good enabler that, you know, it's practically impossible to not buy stuff when she suggests it. So I want to read y'all what this says. So Laughing Forest, these are lollipops. These are not cross-stitch related. Laughing Forest is the company, and they sell through Etsy. So we are a family-owned farm located at the foot of the Cascade Mountains, working towards our organic certification. And then they talk about the organic stuff. Inspired as well by the beauty and flavor of the edible flowers and herbs that we grow, we've created these gourmet artisanal lollipops. Our artisanal lollipops are thoughtfully handcrafted by us, incorporating our edible flowers and herbs into gourmet flavor combinations. So her other ingredients that she needs for them are sourced locally. So this is just kind of like a give back to the community who gives back. I mean, just amazing, right? Well, they normally are wrapped up in this little saran wrap, the bubble wrap, to keep them protected. But I unwrapped this one. So I got the raspberry chai masala tea. And y'all, this lollipop is amazing. I still have like 5 because I bought a dozen, and I'm terrified of not having more because I love this combination. So that's the thing about. Also, are you ready for the ingredients? Fair trade sugar, light caro, distilled water, natural flavor, masala spices. Certified organic. It's got the little organic asterisk. Sold. I don't really eat a lot of sweets, but these aren't like sweet, right? I don't know. They are lollipops, but they are very fancy lollipops, and I enjoy treating myself to one. I might treat myself to one today because I took that exam, and you know, you can never go wrong with that. Okay, Eric is still in the other room. I'm going to sign off of here. Sign off? Who? MySpace? What? I'm gonna sign off of my AOL account, my instant messenger. I was on the precipice of that. Like, I caught the end of that era with technology. Does that make sense? Guess who's back? I'm like sitting in front of my window, and it's the same guy. Can you go to a different street, bro? Like, go run somewhere else. I just said bro. Okay, that's a good signing off point. Under 40 minutes, terrified. I think the only reason why is because I did it this morning. This morning's video was like an hour and a half. So I had like a good practice run. Oh, I do want to thank everyone for being incredibly supportive on my last video. That was truly for me, just to kind of witness my own journey with how I'm dealing with stuff, because everything changes all the time. But I just want to say thank you to everyone that reached out with kind messages of concern and compassion and love, because that is what the FlossTube community is about. It's a community. People celebrate each other's, you know, talents, and we should also celebrate each other's diversities. And it seems like we're on that track. So that's a good way of ending it. Subscribe, like, look at the things below. You know all the things. But yeah, until next time, I'll be on Instagram a lot more now that school is starting to slow down after this week because Thanksgiving break. and then we're done until finals, so I'll actually be able to engage a little bit more with the community, which I'm really excited for because I haven't really been able to for about a month since student teaching started, so I'm excited. I'll see y'all on Instagram or, you know, virtual Stitchers or wherever, but until next time, Erickson probably says bye too.